Okay. Coach, this past weekend, you played number 21 Southern Arkansas, walked away with a 5-2 win. Just talk about what you saw from your team.
Yeah, it was a good to get the win there. Southern Arkansas is tough. I mean, they're one of the teams we lost to last year. They were as high as 11 in the country last year, and they're better this year. I don't know. I don't know how that'll turn into, because they have a really tough schedule the rest of this season. But they're on court. They're better this year than they were last year. So I knew that they were going to be really tough for us. I think I said this time last week that doubles was going to be huge, and we were absolutely awful in doubles. So bad. And I've never gotten on a team during a match, like in between doubles and singles, ever, like I did on Saturday, because I was so angry with the energy and the effort and the focus and the intention was just so bad. Southern Arkansas played well, but we were just awful. And I let them know that for a good 3.5 minutes after. And I told them, I was like, we are not leaving without winning this match. So however we got to get to at least 4 singles wins, it is everyone's responsibility to do whatever they've got to do for us to get at least 4 singles wins, because we are not leaving without winning this match. And we put forth zero energy or effort into the doubles, so we should be fully ready to go. And they responded big time. I was very, very pleased with that. The matchup at one looked kind of, that was the only singles match we lost was on one, and it looked kind of lopsided, but it was not in our favor, but it was very tough match, as tough as a match with that score could possibly be. It's just a really tough matchup for Eva. I mean, their girl was very, very, very tough, and just their game styles didn't match up well in our favor, so we didn't get that one. But every other match was just a battle. Actually, we won pretty easily on 6. Avery played incredible and got off really quickly, so that was huge for us to even up the score, really quickly. And then Yvette played a really, really tough match against a tough opponent, 2 close sets, 7-5, 6-4. Benedetta was down 5-1 in the first set and reeled off 6 games in a row, to get the set against a tough player. She was a D1 transfer. And then Benny got off to a good start in the second set, and then it got close again, and then she was able to slam the door, so that was huge. And then Margot at 2 ended up getting the clinch, and her player was very good. That girl won the Central Regional singles, won a match out at ITA Cup. That was probably the most talented player we've played this year in singles, and Margot ended up getting her in 3 sets. And then Jess, had a tough match at 3 singles, lost the first set. The girl was playing amazing. That was also a girl, a very strong player. She was a transfer from UIndy, which was a Sweet 16 team last year. So I knew that was going to be tough. And Jess lost the first set, either 6-2 or 6-3. And then, Jess looked like the Jess that has won so many big matches for us last year. I mean, beating DBU to clinch the 2 seed in the tournament, and beating Cameron in regionals to send us to the Sweet 16. I mean, Jess has had just some incredible wins, in her short career, and we hadn't really seen her have a great match yet this spring, and she was incredible, especially in the second and third sets to get us that 5th point, because it was really important, for me. It was really important for them to all, get a chance to win those matches. And so for Jess to stand up and fight for herself and fight for the team, to get that last match was huge for her and huge for the team. So yeah, to get a 5-2 win, against Southern Arkansas, who just has a really talented team, who played with a ton of energy, was really big for us.
Basically, just to reiterate, touching up on that, you talked about how you weren't pleased with doubles performance, but you came storming back to win through singles play. What does that say about your team's ability to adapt and win regardless?
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned this a couple times. We're still trying to figure things out in doubles, because in the past couple years we've won doubles pretty regularly, and like we're not doing anything different. We just don't have the same. We just don't have the same vibe. We don't have the same, intention on the court at a couple spots. And they're young, and they're new doubles teams that have only been together for 5 weeks. So it's understandable, but it's not acceptable, if that makes sense. And so we got to figure some things out in doubles because I've said this, like against any team that's not one of the top 10 teams in the country, I think we can win 3 singles matches on anyone, but winning 4 is going to be tough. And for us to not get the doubles, and as bad as it felt for me, as bad as it felt for them, to stand there and kind of sit in that kind of frustration after losing another doubles point, for them to come back and get it was just incredible. That no one hung their heads, no one looked around and was waiting for someone else to win their singles match. I mean, every single girl went out there, with a mission, and some of their matches, were quick, and some of the matches were tough. Some of them were up and down and going 3 sets, but everyone basically, asserted themselves, as a player on Saturday. So I was very, very pleased with that.
Coach, talk to me about, you mentioned in the past you have a fairly young team. Talk to me about the progress you've seen made by the first semester and first year freshmen since they've joined your program.
Yeah, I mean, they're growing every week for sure. Yvette and Jess are now in their second, spring season, and they've done, some really good things, for us as a team and individually. So I only assume that they're going to keep getting better at that. And then, the 4 freshmen this year, I mean, they are still, they're extremely talented, and they're not all able to get to play singles and doubles every match. And I know that's frustrating for them. I wish I was getting to see, to see them play some more of these matches, but I've got to go right now with, with what I feel most comfortable with to get to 4 points. But they're working hard. They're, they're going to get their chances to play for sure. We'll see if we're going to make some adjustments in doubles, maybe some different doubles teams, but yeah, I mean, the young girls are, they're showing up every day in practice for sure. They're hungry to play. They're hungry, to be able to get in the scorebook, and so yeah, I mean, they're great girls. They're great teammates. And they just want to be able to go out and try to put a point on the board for the team in a match. So, I think just being deliberate in practice and training, and their patience to be prepared whenever their name is called is going to pay off for them. But yeah, I mean Margot's been really incredible. Like, I think she deserves to be singled out. I mean, she's still undefeated in singles, and her win this it was at line 2, but I mean, I think it was against Southern Arkansas's most talented player, who's like above a 9 UTR, and I think she was maybe top 15 in the country in singles, or if not, she's going to be. So that was a huge win for her, and Margot's just got a ton of talent, and all of our freshmen do. I mean, they're going to be great once they find their spot, and once they get their feet on the ground. But yeah, really, really happy with where we are right now. I mean, obviously first conference match on Friday, so that's going to be important for us to get off to a good start, and then we got to go to Arkadelphia again to play Henderson on the road. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't like to talk about results too much, but like, I would really love for us to be able to go into spring break undefeated. So we're really going to have to, to figure some things out in practice this week, specifically when it comes to doubles, and get ourselves healthy and be prepared, because it doesn't do us any good to beat Southern Arkansas if we don't get ourselves ready for Kingsville and Henderson this weekend. So it's got to get back to work.
Well, perfect segue into it. What do you expect from your matches coming up?
I mean, Kingsville is always tough. They're well coached. They fight hard. They have some new girls for sure. They have I believe three returning in the lineup from last year. So they're a team that they're always tough to play. I mean, they fight hard. They have a really good spirit within their team. They kind of remind me of my team a little bit. I'm happy that we get to play them at home. I'm happy that like we did get some good wins over their players individually in the fall. We got to see them quite a bit we played some at regionals. We got to play a lot of them at their fall tournament that they hosted. So yeah, I mean, we're pretty familiar, with them, even though they do have quite a few new girls. So, it's going to be a battle. I'll say it again. We got to be better in doubles. I would feel really good if we could. I would feel really good if we could get the doubles point, and not make it quite so dramatic. But they're not going to give it to us. I mean, we're going to have to go earn it, and Henderson on the road as well. I mean, it's going to take 9 hours to get out there, and to be able to get yourself ready to play early in the morning the next day, just to drive 9 hours back. That's a battle in itself to kind of make sure that you're ready, to play when the match starts. So yeah, I mean, Henderson, they did lose a couple players to graduation from last year, and I haven't seen any of their new players in the fall, so I don't know a ton of what to expect from them personnel-wise, but they're also a well-coached team, who is going to be tough on the road after a long trip, early in the morning. We're just going to have to be ready to go.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.